Soup Kitchen Henry on the bean sauce trumpet hat. Y'all, Slow Boon Slang coming at you with another DMZ guide. All right, we are going to get into it right here, right now. This is a deeper dive on the Koshei complex. I was requested by a couple of the channel members here to go ahead and, do a deep dive on the Koshei complex. So, I am entering into the chemical plant section right here. That is kind of the glue that holds the entire monster together in Koshei. I'll flip over to night vision in just a sec, but I'm going in dark because I needed to take care of a mission here that I was working on that I will be doing a video on a little later. But the chemical plant portion is where you can access pretty much every other wing of the Koshei complex, right? And you have to go into it in order to get to the sniper and the Rhino, which are the two bosses at the very end in the factory admin section of Koshei. So, I will be showing you right here where there are keys to get into that factory admin section and how to get to that factory admin section, because that is kind of the section you're going to need to go to actually get the weapons case out of the Koshei complex. When you enter into the Koshei complex, you could enter in from multiple sides. You could enter in from the Defense Research Division, from the Securities Division. There's many sections that you can enter. The water section where you have to swim, but there's literally 4 sections you can enter in from, and so I'm not going to assume that you've entered from any area. I'm going to assume that you're coming to the chemical plant, because that is where everyone has to go. Eventually, you have to come here. So once you get to the chemical plant, that's where I'm kind of starting this from. Now, those vents that I'm going into that you just saw, those vents are important because those contain the factory admin keys, and that is what you're going to need to basically get to the end portion of the Koshei complex. Now, there's also another area that only can be accessed from the chemical plant called the Alpha Cluster. There are a few missions done in the Alpha Cluster, and so you also will need to access that at a certain point. But for the purposes of this guide, we're really going to be driving to getting to the sniper and the Rhino and what the Koshei complex layout is like, and how to get to the factory admin section. I'll show you where that other section is, the Alpha Cluster section is in here, so that you can get there when you need to, but I'm not going to open it up or really go into that in this guide. We'll leave that for another time. Bottom line is, there are some recommendations to make Koshei a little bit easier. Bringing in an extra battery and extra jumper cables always makes it easier, because a couple of the sections you have to access with a battery and jumper cables just to get in. Here's the factory admin key, by the way. That is where you find it. You find it literally in the vent sections, right, that I just went to, kind of in the middle of the chemical plant. You will find that factory admin key. If it's not there, I found both of them, in fact, in one vent. If it is not there, that means another team in there has already grabbed it. That's what that means. There's always one in there, right? Bottom line is, if it's not there, be wary. There could be another team. And that gets back to the recommendations, right? So battery and jumper cables, great recommendation to have when you're going in here. A 3-plate vest, and preferably a comms vest, is what you're going to want in Koshei, because you're going to want to know when you're about to get engaged by these enemy teams, right? That is a huge, huge perk to have on. So a 3-plate comms vest, and I would say a medium backpack or better, just to carry all the keys that you need and all that good stuff. Now, we are going to get into, at this point, kind of what this rubble is and what it looks like. Something has fallen in the chemical plant and it's caved in, and that is why that rubble's there. Now, you can use the rubble as a landmark, and I like to use the rubble as a landmark for where these vents are, where the factory admin section is, and also where the Alpha Cluster is. When you look at the rubble, right, if you go straight over the rubble, you're going to run into the Alpha Cluster, which is where those missions are. If you go away from the rubble, directly opposite of that Alpha Cluster, it's direct opposite across the entire section of the Koshei complex. You have to go straight opposite. It's an A1 door. That is the factory admin section, right? It is directly opposite of the Alpha Cluster section. That is how you know how to get there, right? So it's got A1 above it, right? It's got this yellow kind of hole on the outside of it, and you need that factory admin key to get in here. When you get in here, there will be a turret, right? There will absolutely be a turret. So know when you get that factory admin key with your team, or if you're doing it solo like I am here, that you are going to have a turret to deal with when you come in to the factory admin section, right? The factory definitely has a ton of enemies, and you know these security turrets that are brutal. So you want to either get behind it, right, or just take it out. What I did is I left it up, right. I usually leave it up. Actually, this time I took it down. No, I did. I left it up. I left it up like I thought. Bottom line is, you're going to want to either take it down or leave it up. If you're soloing, I recommend leaving it up, because a team coming behind you is going to get hit by that turret, and you're going to get notified by the turret itself, right? So that's huge. That sentry gun is going to tell you what's going on at that point. Now, the shopkeeper is in this section. This is the factory admin section that we've come into now, right? And it says it right above, factory admin, right? This is where the shopkeeper is, and also where you find the buy station for Koshei. So if you go back here, right where I just went through those two double doors, you're going to access the buy station, right? And you'll be able to get self-reses, plates, all that good stuff. And a couple of other things too. You can craft your own stuff from Koshei complex items that you can pick up, right? You can get certain vests and stuff in here too. That right there, the orange buy, is the shopkeeper buy. That is a special buy, and you have to have certain items, and each round it changes, right? You'll look at a note on a wall, and there's a note actually next to the shopkeeper that tells you what items he needs for you to open that shop up, and it has exclusive things that you can get, right? So it's pretty cool, but the bottom line is, don't focus on that when you're just going in trying to get the weapons case and trying to kill the sniper and the Rhino, and just running Koshei in general. If you have a mission that requires the shopkeeper, then obviously you're going to need to get some items for that, but that is where that is. That is what that is, and it's useful to look for the items that are listed on those notes that are in each section that say this is the shopkeeper's note, right? Now, getting the sniper and the Rhino is right here. You're going to go through this window. This is the shortcut. Drop down through this window directly from that first room in the factory admin section, and I just run it here since I'm soloing it. I'm taking everybody out that I can, but I'm just running through real quick. There's a longer way to do this, but I recommend going in through that window that I just showed you, dropping down, and you basically cut two sections off of this, getting to the sniper and the Rhino. And it's easier, right, because you don't have to kill as many enemies. I definitely recommend having an armor box and night vision goggles as well. The night visions you'll need for that chemical plant that I showed you earlier, because it's completely dark in there. As you could see, you need the night visions in order to be able to see where you're going. Armor boxes just because you need a lot of plates here. Now, this section is where the Rhino is. Once you get back here, you are at the first boss, right? The Rhino he's fairly easy, but he's just a jerk. I mean, he runs up on you hard as fuck, right? You gotta murder this bitch down. He's gonna come at you fast, and he's gonna hit you in the face. He's gonna straight slap your penis off. He does not give a fuck, y'all. He is a bastard. So watch him. Watch him, because he comes at you real hard, right? And you're just going to have to bust his armor off real quick. I recommend a shotgun, man. The KV Broadside or the MX Guardian, I'm using the MX on this one, ruins him. And then I have my Seiken as well. I have the shield wall going, right? Just because I love that one. The shield wall ruins, and it's got the 15-minute cooldown, y'all. Can't recommend getting more if you have X. If you have the time to put in this season, it is the Tier 4 story mission for the Phalanx faction, right? The shield wall does a very good job, and it rips through this guy's armor pretty well, but that MX Guardian, bam, that's what puts him down real quick. And so there you go. That's the Rhino. Now, after you kill the Rhino, now you have access to go to the sniper. Killing the sniper will also get you the stealth vest, which is huge, because when you're able to craft stealth vests, that's the new meta, in my opinion, in the DMZ. It's the best vest, right? It shuts down comms vest, it shuts down UAVs, it shuts down advanced UAVs. It's incredible. This section right here where the green door light is, basically the area you entered in, but you couldn't get in this door before, this is where the sniper is. You have to come up these stairs, right? And you're going to have to disarm traps, so watch your ass, but this is where the sniper is, and this is the last part of the Koshei complex. Once you kill the sniper, he drops a key, and you are able to access a door that's actually at the very end of this area that drops the weapon case, right? That's where the weapon case is located. Make sure you are crawling, straight up army crawling prone to get through those traps that I was just looking at. They will one-shot you no matter what vest you have on, no matter how many plates you have on. So you're going to have to disarm those traps, as you can see right there, right? And I'm just going to show you where the sniper is. He's back in this section. This is where he starts. He's going to continue to run back as you're shooting him, but that is where he is, and those are the last kind of 2 bosses in Koshei, right? Once you kill these guys, you can take their weapons, you can grab that key, you can loot up, you can grab the weapons case, and then you're going to have to extract from one of the elevators, which are marked, right? Those I don't have to really explain. They're marked on the map. You're just going to need to find them and then exfil out. But the bottom line is, this is where you kind of finish the Koshei complex normally. There's an L2 section, an L2 wing that you need an L2 security card for as well, right? I'm not going to go into that too deeply here because this video is really based on getting to the Rhino and the sniper, right? And then also the other sections, right? The chemical plant, and just kind of getting into Koshei itself. But bottom line is, I will post some videos on the L2 and alpha cluster sections later on because I have some missions that I just kind of finished up there, so you'll see that as well. Bottom line, make sure that you are just railing and bailing these hoes in this section because they're going to roll on you hard, right? Take down the traps as much as possible, right? And there is the sniper right there, and that